You are at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $10 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Branko Berkson, who says, rant about Jello Apocalypse's animated series, Epithet Erased. Also, feel free to give any thoughts on him or his content if you have any. I have never really seen any of Jello Apocalypse's content before this video. And this is one of those things where I would say that while this doesn't really appeal to me personally, I thought it was kind of cool that this exists. So the reason that animated was put in quotes here is because of the style of the series, which is largely these sort of lightly animated, or even just like kind of... It's like they only drew static poses for the characters, but then kind of tweened between them here and there. But like most of the time it feels like you're watching like speaking character art in a way, but it looks fine. I mean, I think it's more than enough for the type of story that it is. I think the background art looks pretty good. It's got great color work. I don't love the character designs, but I think they pop off well. They look good in the show. They're able to be very detailed because the show is not animated in a traditional fashion. It's basically just a few poses for these characters that are swapped between, and yeah, I mean, I think it looks good enough to be entertaining and to carry a dialogue-driven show in much the same way that so many Adult Swim shows did. You know, most of those shows are... Something like Aqua Teen Hunger Force is probably even less animation than this does, and it's not as though they didn't put a ton of effort into it. Like, despite the fact that the animation is super limited, it's not as though they're static. The characters, they move around, they have little gestures, they have different expressions. So, you know, it doesn't feel lazy. It just feels like this is a small production doing as much as they can. And the fact that there are 7 23-minute episodes of it is like, you know, something like Has Been Hotel, which was obviously way more impressive visually, we can't get that far. You know, like, it took a long fucking time to produce that first episode as a pilot, and the only way they'd be able to do more is if they were picked up by a... Well, not the only way they could do more, but, like, if they wanted to make it an ongoing show that came out with any kind of regularity, it would have to be picked up by somebody, and it probably would never have the level of quality that that first episode did. This show is built for longevity. It's built in a way that it can be sustained as an internet show. Apparently it's on VRV also, which is bizarre, but, you know, I thought that a show like this, a show with this kind of style, is one I can easily enjoy. There's plenty of anime with very limited styles, plenty of internet shows with very limited styles that I've loved, and I think that this limited style works very well for what they're going for. However, the writing did not really grab me, and I even thought the voice acting was pretty solid. The main girl sounds really good. Some of the characters who were like really hamming it up, I found grating, but more importantly, it's just that the writing is... I mean, the show is supposed to be a comedy, but it's not funny. Like, the jokes are just very, like... You know, it's wacky. It's just dumb, goofy things for the characters to say and for the commenters to quote. I was not at all surprised when I scrolled down and all the comments were just quotes from the episode. Like, the first notable one is probably when the girl, she's in a museum. She finds herself, you know, stuck there by herself. She's been abandoned by whoever she had come with. And she, like, is like, oh no, I've probably already set off all these alarms and stepped on all these lasers. So she calls the police, and they're like, hi, it's the cops. And she says, yeah, I want to go to jail. And, like, the comedy of this is that it's a, you know, very, that the first of all, that, hey, it's the cops is obviously an extremely casual, unprofessional way of a police answering the phone and them picking up very quickly and just answering like it's a regular conversation. And then her saying, yeah, I want to go to jail, which is obviously the opposite of what anybody says when they call the police. But, like, it makes no fucking sense in the situation. Like, it's funny as a dialogue exchange, but why would she conclude she wants to go to jail based on the fact that she thinks she might have tripped a laser wire or what? Like, it just felt like the joke just existed for the sake of itself, just for the sake of having that joke, but it had no... It didn't have, like, good setup, you know? and it didn't lead into something right afterwards. So it was just like, haha, a funny line, and that's how a lot of it is. And that was like the best joke that I saw of any of the ones I saw. Most of it is just characters saying ridiculous things, or even like trying to kind of hand wave the shittier parts of the writing by making it into a joke. Like they're at this museum and the woman giving the tour guide is like very bored because she's explaining things to them that they should already know, and she's like, "Oh, you're not 6. You already know how this world works." But like it doesn't diminish the fact that this feels awkward and forced. That like, yes, okay, we get it. This kind of dialogue is bad, is like considered bad writing, but the fact that the characters are addressing it doesn't make it good. It doesn't suddenly make me go, oh, haha, they're self-aware of the fact that they're doing exposition dumps. It's like, no, you could have just written it without an exposition dump, you know? There were more graceful ways of communicating this. So, yeah, I didn't think the writing was all that strong. Didn't really laugh at the jokes. Character designs don't really appeal to me, even if I do think they're well made. But you know, I have no problems with this show's existence. I think it looks neat. I would like to see more shit like this. I wish more people thought about how can I get my show made. Like, you know, if you watch my other rant I did about like rolling the dice and making decisions on content, I talk a lot about like, you know, the thought process I have of like, okay, in order for this thing to get made, I need to figure out how I can make it like with the least amount of resources possible. And this show, you know, seemed to try to do that. I appreciated the way it would switch to like the above view with the avatars moving around. It really kind of reminded me of like a Persona game, you know, which in video games, much more so than regular animation, especially budget titles, have to use a lot of these techniques of, you know, abstracting the characters into like symbols or just a map or something to travel, just because they don't have the budget to craft an entire fucking open world, you know? So I thought these were creative solutions that worked well. I just am not that interested in actually watching the show because the writing is meh.